George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation, celebrating people we feel good about. We have a partnership with the SUNY EOC, Education Opportunity Center, 100 New Street in Syracuse. And we're here to meet one of the staff that supports the students and helping them to make a difference and have an impact on our community. This week, we heard about a great announcement, not from the SUNY EOC, but from everybody, all the big kahunas that talked about a big microchip company coming here. Well, if you play your cards right, you can get that start right here at the EOC, because these jobs that they're talking about, and they said the numbers that they're projecting are astronomical. They say over the next 20 years, are you ready for this number? 50,000 jobs will be created. Okay. Well, guess what? If you're working with Shayla Graham of the SUNY EOC as the workforce development counselor, you could be in line for one of those jobs. Now, that's a big dream and a big lift, but let's talk about, Shayla, how you help students in the programs that you offer at EOC.
Yeah, and I love that introduction. I
You
think
like
that
that segue?
I know I love that. I'm just as excited and pumped up too. I think that the programs we're offering right now are very special, and we're trying our best to make them approachable, right?
Mm-hmm.
You are speaking about these microchips and all of these like really cool factories that are going up in the advanced manufacturing industry. And what I've had the opportunity to do is sit down with folks from Center State CEO and really collaborate on these programs and become more knowledgeable on the employers who are hiring technicians for these entry level roles. And so one of the things that I've observed is that these are not just jobs for the temporary to get people in the
Mm-hmm.
door, get a paycheck. These are career jobs where you can actually move up. The skills that you're acquiring in your first 1 to 3 years are skills that will carry you throughout the rest of your career. And there is high upward mobility with those skills. So it's been really fascinating.
And a lot of people wouldn't necessarily see the connection between the work that you do here, but you just talked about the fact that you're sitting down with the major manufacturers, the economic development players in Central New York and beyond. Well, Central New York, let's start
Yeah,
here,
yeah, yeah.
to have an impact on the lives, because along with the 10,000 or so high tech jobs, there's a lot of support and backup that's going to be needed. And so we're in a position, the ELC
Yeah.
is in a position to prepare students for the jobs that are going to be available in our community, right? Because for years we've been hearing, well, if we only could have people trained for the jobs that we actually have, now we have time to do it.
Exactly. And that's what we have time on our hands. We're making these programs as robust as possible. SAM, that's the abbreviated term for Surge Advanced Manufacturing. That's like one of the super cool programs that we're offering, but we're also in collaboration with Syracuse Build, because in addition to what's going on in the manufacturing industry and the whole tech boom that's going on in the city, Mayor Ben Walsh trying to make Syracuse a world leader as one of the smartest cities, right? So we have the technical end, but we also have a lot going on with this 81 project. Lots of construction, millions of dollars are being poured into the downtown area zip code to get recruitment, people working on that project, people that are skilled and people that are committed to the construction field. And so what we're actually doing now is beginning to phase up the program development, reboot our Build Ready program. This is with Chris Montgomery, Kelsey Montag, Ebony Farrow. They also collaborate on the Pathways to Apprenticeship program. So there's a lot of opportunity to get your foot in the construction business, because that's a gritty business, very, very hands-on. Takes a few years to get the hang of it, start building those basic skills. But I really think that that's what sets our programs apart, is that we're giving that hands-on training. There is some classroom elements, but a lot of it is just getting in there and getting the real life experience, interacting with employers, taking students right on site or even inviting employers into our classrooms to do workshops with our students. So they're not only interacting in a very personal manner, but then we take them on the employer's premises. They can get a vibe for the work culture and see, do I see myself here? Do I really visualize? How do I show up in the whole schema of this employer, of this setting? So we give them a variety of options, and then from there they can interview on the last day of program. So I thought that was super cool as well. Like, we're bringing in the employers right into our building to celebrate our students. And then, hey, by the way, before you leave, go ahead and go into the tutoring center or the student lounge, and you can knock out your interview right here. So it's really good in that way.
Really great programming there. Shayla Graham, Workforce Development Counselor to SUNY EOC, here on Inspiration for the Nation with George Kilpatrick. And so specifically now, the students who come in, what should they be prepared to do, or how do you work with them to get them ready for these opportunities?
That's a great question. So, of course, they have to be eligible to participate at the EOC. So, we're not looking for folks that have college degrees and lots of training behind them. We're looking for people that are extremely green to their industry, or maybe you don't have your HSE. I know for the advanced manufacturing, HSE is a requirement, but for construction, it is not. So, for each program, there's different eligibility criteria. One of the main focal points that we look at is for participation, you have to have some sort of economic disadvantage, right? Whether that be, economically or with your education, and then just limited resources, right? So we want to fill that gap for the folks that really need that support. And then, making sure that we're complying with COVID, all that is whirling around. So we just want to make sure as a campus that we're being safe on the health side, bringing in students that are vaccinated, students that have some sort of economic disadvantage, academic disadvantage, and then making sure that once they get into our doors, they can, provide us with, valid driver's license, things like that. And then they're eligible for a program. It's really that simple. And we just do our part as program counselors. And one of the reasons why I stepped up and took on this role, I was previously working in the Attain Lab teaching technology basics, digital literacy. And when this opportunity opened up, I said I jumped right on it, because as a program counselor, we're really allying with the student instead of moving out of like that authority figure type of role, which can sometimes come off as, a little detached from the student,
Mhm.
but really getting attached on a more personal level, looking at lifestyle barriers, really getting to the heart of job readiness, because we can teach a ton of skills in 3 weeks. Are the students going to walk away with those skills or not? Maybe, maybe not. But the important thing is to get them ready to show up on time every day, get their resumes completed, looking nice, boosting their confidence, working on their interview skills, and then helping them complete the application for these roles that we're curating for them.
Well, and we did a series a few years ago on, people who started right at these basic steps, and we've got evidence of the success of people coming through EOC. We've got PhDs, we've got people working on masters, we've got people at all levels who now wouldn't be eligible for your programs.
And that's a good
Right?
thing, right?
Isn't that a good thing? Right. They wouldn't be eligible now. But what I'm hoping that people take away from this conversation, or at least begin to think about, is that we often hear about resources and things in this community, and the EOC right in the heart of the community, accessible, right on the bus line, walking distance from individuals who may not know that this gem of a resource is available for them at wherever they are,
Yep.
right? And I think one of the things that you've proven, at least from this perspective, is that the instructors there, the staff there, is ready to meet you where you are, no matter what you have going on. We'll figure it out. I know that's part of what you talk about.
Yeah, no, I think that was really well said. And I can't even say it better myself. We truly want to meet students where they're at. And we don't want them to think of oh, what is advanced manufacturing? I said it myself, I
Right,
said,
right.
what makes it advanced? And then I went to these employers and I'm looking around, I'm seeing the technology, I'm seeing the robotics, right? And I see that, yes, there is definitely a technical end, but they teach you and they welcome the learning curve, right? One of the things that I want my students to know is that curiosity is key when it comes to learning a new job. You don't have to be qualified all the time, right? Employers are not looking for the most qualified individual always. Having a qualification is amazing, but being able to have those soft skills that's the gold right there. Are you teachable? Are you trainable? Are you curious? Are you adaptable? Are you flexible? And these are the things, in addition to goal setting, time management, organization, that we really try to weave into our programs as best that we can, in addition to the hard skills. So some of our construction students might have the opportunity to walk away with an actual flagging certificate or an OSHA 10 certificate. These are things that you need to walk on to a job site. So they'll walk away with hard skills, but most importantly, we want them to know, be on time, work hard, and this is how you thrive in your career. We don't want to just get you the job. We want you to keep your job.
And what and I don't know the answer to this, so and you may not either, but you may of course do know. But what about reentry and support for those coming back into community looking to rebuild and get a reset and a fresh start?
Absolutely. We welcome people from all walks of life. So we all have our backgrounds, whatever you have come from and overcome. We don't want that to be an obstacle in your way. We work with folks all the time that are reentering. So CCA is one of our community partners, and we're looking forward to going back and doing a tabling event with them. And so we make sure that when we're building and establishing our employer relationships, they're very clear. We are here to serve the community and bring diversity and diverse perspective to your workplace. And if you value that, then you're in alignment with our mission, because we don't want employers that are just trying to, check a box. We really want a shared mission and a shared vision for how they want their workplace to look. Are you really looking for unique perspective? Because that means you're welcoming people from all different walks of life.
I love it. All right. So, what else do we need to know, Shayla, about the work you do at EOC as a workforce development counselor?
Yeah, well, a huge thing that I've been getting involved with is a little bit more of the marketing for the center. So I would just tell folks, if you haven't done so already, follow us on Instagram, SUNY Syracuse EOC, and on Facebook at the Educational Opportunity Center. We welcome the traffic there. We want to get going on those platforms because we do offer a lot of remote and online training. And so we know that we have an audience out there that is virtual and that's growing virtually, even though we're here serving the community, of course, but we know that oftentimes transportation is a limitation for our students. So we want to be able to still connect and interact on our social media platforms. And so it's been really fun learning those systems and honing in on those skills as well.
Excellent. And if you have been a student, if you're a graduate, an alumni of EOC, tag them, right?
Yes.
And let them know that you're doing all right out here. And,
Right.
and how we say it around the way, that you're doing all right out here in these streets.
In these streets. Okay. I love
So
that.
we
Okay.
love to see it. We love to see it. Oh, by the way, I
Yes.
know you mentioned Chris Montgomery. Shout out to Chris. Used to be at
Yes.
EOC doing it, and
Yep.
now he's working with Syracuse Build, I believe, right?
Yep. Syracuse
So,
Bill.
so that's why
Yeah.
you got those partnerships, because Chris used to be there.
Yep. Yep.
Good,
Yep.
good man.
Absolutely.
We
That's
did
the
some
guy.
we did some work
Yes.
down there as well. All right. So how do people get a hold of you? You did talk about your social media. They should call
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We still have, our personal contact line. So I'm most reachable by text, or they can just call the center at 315-472-0130. And I'm at extension 180 if you're looking for some workforce training. We have a variety of program counselors, though. We've got Philip Hamilton over college prep, Joe Ann Perez, that's over the ESOL, working with a lot of the new Americans on language development. department. We also have Tim Sullivan, who's working with some of our students that are interested in medical billing and coding, medical secretary. And then we have a variety of other offerings that run throughout the year that aren't on a so consistent basis, but we try to diversify our offerings and make sure that students have a variety of pickings from year to year.
All right, check them out. Syracuse EOC 315-472-0130 extension
180.
There you go. All right. Shayla Graham, workforce development counselor and a little marketing and PR, all that good stuff for the Syracuse EOC. Good to talk to you and keep up the good work. And remember, there's 50,000 jobs that's going to be created based on the microchip announcement this week in Syracuse. And you can start at the EOC, and next thing you know, you're one of the 50,000 people that they say are going to be hired. So
That's right.
the journey starts at the EOC.
Yes, love that.
Inspiration for the nation. Thank you, Shayla.
Thank you so much.